Live your life within the moment, and don't go wait until the morning. You never know when it is over. All that I know is we'll get older. So let us dance this night away.
Happy New Year, everyone! Thank you for subscribing to my channel. I thought, what better way to welcome in the new year than to start off with a new look? So, welcome to my lookbook. Picture book edition! Let's get started. As a Black girlhood studies scholar who specializes in children's literature, I want to highlight 4 looks inspired by picture books featuring Black girls. My first look is inspired by Abe Lincoln's Dream by Lane Smith. Published in 2012, Abe Lincoln's Dream is a historical fantasy, my label not theirs, about a young girl named Quincy who meets the ghost of Abraham Lincoln while on a tour of the White House during a school field trip. While I do find some of the language problematic, like I often do in picture books, her style, her sense of adventure, and her ability to empathize with the former president makes Quincy's story worth replicating. Dressed in a bright yellow top with black biker shorts underneath because, I have to keep myself decent, I am channeling my inner Quincy. My heavy-duty black rain boots and thick white socks are ready to kick away any ghost that may come near me. I will admit I'm not as brave as Quincy, but like her, I do have a sense of adventure, and I love meeting new people and learning more about them. Quincy is also knowledgeable about U.S. history. Every question Lincoln asks or comment that he makes, she answers with confidence. I did take AP European history in high school, but that's as far as I got. I am an English professor though, so I think Quincy would find that to be quite cool if I can say so myself. I love Quincy's hair, it's so full of life. Unlike her, I do not like my hair in my face, so I decided to pull mine back into a half updo and wear a yellow headband. Again, keeping my hair out of my face will help me see if ghosts are coming near. I have danced for nearly 2 decades of my life, so my legs are quite strong for kicking. What kind of dance did I study? Ballet, West African, modern, and swing. I grew up dancing salsa and merengue because I am originally from Miami. 305 represent. Raise your hand if you were really awkward in middle school. Me. Raise your hand if you were a refined reader in middle school. Also me. I wasn't always the best reader. My change of heart towards chapter books occurred in middle school, in part thanks to my language arts teacher, Mrs. Senior. Shout out to Mrs. Senior! She helped my desire for the written word flourish. And like Nikki, the protagonist of Everything in Its Place, A Story of Books and Belonging by Pauline David-Sax, I too volunteered to work in my school's library. Published in 2022, Everything in Its Place follows Nikki, who is most comfortable being in the library with books and Mrs. Gillum, the librarian, then playing outside with her peers. Eventually, she learns that it is possible to find a friend who likes to read just as much as she does. Her kindred spirit. Dressed in my denim jeggings and my red sneaker, striped shirt, makeshift glasses, and hair puffs, I am off to the library to find my kindred spirit. Unlike Nikki, I did not spend time in the library to avoid my peers. Some of my most fun memories from middle school were with my friends who also volunteered at the library with me. That's where I found some of my kindred spirits. Kindred spirits are not so scarce as I used to think. It's splendid to find out there are so many of them in the world. That's a line from one of my favorite novels, Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. I still have a copy of it from when I read it in middle school. Something you should know about me is that if I like it, I will keep it. Forever. So I have copies of my favorite books from childhood. You cannot get any more iconic than Josephine Baker. Dancer, singer, actress, and World War II informant. Jazz Age Josephine by Jonah Winter is a rhythmic verse biography of Baker's life. It chronicles her childhood full of poverty and strife, growing up in St. Louis, Missouri, to her rise to fame on the stages of Paris, France. I've never danced on the stages of Paris, France, but I have been to Paris and I have performed all over New Orleans, including at Jazz Fest and Bayou Boogaloo. So if New Orleans is a mini France, then Josephine and I have lots in common. Channeling my inner Josephine, I imagine myself on a stage in Paris, wearing a teal dress I bought for Easter some years ago, and my black Mary Janes. I am ready to dance all night. Written by voting rights activist Stacey Abrams. Stacey's Extraordinary Words is the true life story of Abrams as a young student striving to win the county spelling bee. Day and night, she practices her words in hopes of making her community proud. In her pursuit, she learns that words can be used to build others up or tear others down. Stacey's yellow dress, hair puffs tied with red ribbons, white socks, and black flats are iconic to images of black girlhood that we're so familiar with. Think Ruby Bridges, Elizabeth Eckford, or any important image of black girlhood as it intersects with educational rights. So I could not pass up the opportunity to embody these images, wearing this schoolgirl-style yellow dress, socks made to look like lined paper given to me by a dear friend, alongside my Mary Janes, allows me to reify these iconic images. I too love words, but I prefer to learn words not only in English, but in other languages as well. I started a French immersion program when I was in the 3rd grade and continued studying French until college. And growing up in Miami, I was already attuned to understanding and speaking some Spanish. A few years ago, I started learning German, but abandoned it to learn Korean instead, which is the language I'm currently studying. 감사합니다, which means thank you. Thank you for watching. Comment below your favorite picture book inspired look. Subscribe.